I have a question for you today. Do you have personal standards? Do you have them? One of the 74 principles of real leadership is to set and maintain high standards. And the only way that that can happen is if you have personal standards for yourself. So today, I'm going to reveal some of my personal standards. Number one, my weight and physical fitness. I went to high school and graduated in June of 1991, and I had my prom dress. And I still have my prom dress, and I can still fit my prom dress from June of 1991. And I try it on with some consistency or frequency just to make sure that I am still that same size. I also maintain my physicality, and while I can't run anymore, I can still walk and stretch and do weight training. I was at an appointment with my daughter the other day. We were speaking to the client and telling him that we like to walk in the trails in the area that we live. And I made a joke and I said, yeah, she can't keep up with me when I'm walking. And I said, on a good day, I can walk a mile in about 10.5 minutes. He was like, well, shoot, I can't. I run a mile in about 9.5 minutes. And I said, well, it used to be faster than that. So when I was in the Army, so for me, that's slow. But my daughter has been telling me that that mile pace was too much. So I might make it 11.5 minutes so she can keep up. That's just one example. Another example is my sleep. I have a mattress topper on my bed. I sleep on firm pillows. I have 1,000-count thread sheets because sleep is important to me. Having the right temperature and making sure that I have a very peaceful environment ensures that my brain gets the rest that it needs so that I can get back up and be a bad motherfucker during the daylight hours. The next one is my diet. My diet is not the same in my 50s as it was in my 20s because I am preparing, God willing, for my 60s. And so there are some things that I have removed from my diet on purpose. Caffeine, because I'm perimenopausal, and I read that it causes hot flashes, so I've eliminated caffeine and added sugar. And I have a lot more fluids in my diet and a lot more natural things in my diet than I did when I was in my 20s. My peace. My peace. You will not disrupt my peace. You will not do it. Online, in person, it will not happen because if I allow you to disrupt my peace, that means I'm no longer in my frontal lobe and you have me in an amygdala state, which means I'm not going to make the best decisions. It means I don't have access to my executive function, and that's just not going to bode well for anybody. So I'm going to protect my peace at all costs. My appearance is the next one. My appearance is a neat appearance. It is a groomed appearance. I have been that way since I was in elementary school. Never really been on trend, don't have on what's popping, but I do maintain a classic, neat, groomed appearance. And partly because I was in the military and then I spent almost 10 years in food and beverage. And so your appearance, if you have long nails or dirty nails, it impacts the food system and the supply chain where people are going to be eating those products that you made. So that's part of it, but I just maintain a groomed appearance. So it's not, oh, I'm going to be on trend. Let me floss up and boss up. That's not it at all. And currently, I haven't purchased new clothes in a long time, but that goes back to number one, which is I don't have to purchase new clothes because I spent a lot of money on them when I bought them, but I'm the same size. So definitely my appearance is important to me. It is a neat and groomed appearance. My home. Don't have a lot of clutter in my home. I used to have a bunch of things on the wall, rugs and towels and mirrors and clocks and shit, and all of those things are gone. And we have a rule in our house. If we haven't used it or worn it in a year, besides specialty items, i.e. the prom dress, we donate it to Savers so that someone else can use it. So we take care of it. We're no longer using it, and then we donate it. But it is clean and pristine in my house all the time. Doesn't matter. You can come over here right now and you will see there is no clutter. There is no junk, not even in the garage, because clutter creates clutter up here, creates clutter out here, and eliminate clutter is also one of the 74 principles of real leadership. I make up my bed every day and everything. And because we purge a lot, there is not a lot to be had in our home, and that's by design. My personal relationships. My personal relationships are small. And that's that way on purpose because, again, I'm going back to you're not going to disrupt my peace. So no one has my telephone number. If you want to communicate with me, you're going to send me an email. I don't do in-person meetings. And I'm actually working on changing the world with personal accountability, so I don't have a lot of available time to be chit-chatting and just meeting and talking for no intended purpose whatsoever, because this is the phase that I'm in my life right now, or the season that I'm in, and it's teaching people, adults globally, how to hold themselves personally accountable, and helping my daughter with her business that just takes up a large portion of my day. So I don't really have the need for extracurricular activities. But in the event, when I do have pockets of time, it's spent with people who are personally accountable. My work. My work right now is the most important thing to me. The Chinese, I think it's a Chinese proverb, but I'm not sure, so I'm just going to say the proverb is, wise men will plant trees for shade in which they won't sit. So I'm planting trees that I won't be here for. When they show up, I will no longer be here, but personal accountability will be. There are over 6 billion adults not being personally accountable on the daily basis. Number one, because they don't know that it exists. And number two, because timing wise, I haven't been able to get to all over 6 billion people in the world. But that is my life's work right now. When it's all said and done and I'm on my way out, I want to know that I did my best to get personal accountability to every person that was willing to hold themselves personally accountable, because it is a personal choice that all adults have to make or need to make. I want them to make it, but it's still a personal choice that they need to make. And then finally, money. Everybody is focused on money, which is why my work is so much harder, because there were other people who should have been doing similar work, but money. Everybody is focused on money, and all money ain't good money. All money ain't good money. When I was at my corporate job, I was making good money and I was miserable. So what is it that I'm willing to be compensated for? And it's personal accountability. It's personal accountability because this work matters. This work matters. The Science of Getting Rich says add more value than what people are paying for. Add more value to what people are paying for. And I'm not telling you to quit your corporate job, but I am telling you to take pause and see what you have to do to get that money. I had to take raw materials and turn them into finished goods and sell them in a marketplace in the food and beverage industry for a food group that wasn't actually a food group. It was salty snacks. So I couldn't continue to do that. We're making salty snacks. There's only so much that you could do to tell yourself this has value in the world. Doritos, Cheetos, Fritos, Lay's, Miss Vicky's, Grandma's Cookies. Nothing's going to happen if you don't have salty snacks in the world. You might make their comfort food might be gone, but it wasn't life-changing, and it wasn't earth-shattering, it wasn't dent-making, and it wasn't risk-taking. So while I know how to take raw materials and turn it into finished goods and sell it in a marketplace, and I understand the supply chain, for me, it wasn't enough. And so that is why I am working on my life's mission, which is to change the world. Because after you reach a certain point, you can only live in one house, you can only drive one car, you can only wear one wig in my case, and one outfit at a time, and you still need to have a bigger reason to get up in the morning. That's why when people pursue the money and they get it, and then they find out, okay, money only solves money problems. Now what am I going to do with my day? Because I don't have money problems anymore. I have everything that I need, want, and more, and there's a surplus. So as you think about, once you get past Maslow's hierarchy of needs of survival, what else are you going to do with your day and with your life? So pick a number, get to that number, maintain that number, and then go off and do other things with your life that will have meaning long after you're here. Those are just a few examples of my personal standards. Oh, and the number one, if you don't hold yourself personally accountable, I don't really care what it is that you're doing. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care what your title is and what the world thinks of you. I don't care, because my final decision for my personal standards is there are only two types of people in the world. Those who hold themselves personally accountable to become their best, and then the rest are unaccountable people. And I really don't care what they do, because it's not going to matter, because it's unaccountable, and best is not their objective. That's what's important to me. Those are my personal standards, some of them. I didn't want this video to be an hour long. Start to think about what your personal standards are and how it relates to your day-to-day personal accountability. And when you have them, don't compromise them for anybody. And it's usually only unaccountable people that want you to lower your standards for them because they have low to no standards, which is no bueno for anybody, which is not another reason why you don't need them in your life. Today, take some time and really assess what your standards are. Remove some that don't matter anymore or that are of no value to you today. Set new ones and review them once a quarter just to make sure they're valid. And do you need to raise those standards? Thank you for your time today. Do this for yourself. It is one of the most important things that you can do today. Got it? Good.